Hey everyone, this is Nick from Mecca Warehouse, and today I'm back with weekly update number 68. Let's just jump right into it. We'll start off with week in review. This is where I talk about what's been going on this week, things that are coming up, things like that. And I guess first off, huge thank you to everybody who made a purchase last weekend. We had a really big weekend. I don't know that it was record breaking or anything, but between the Dspiae and the Kotobukiya and Bandai restocks, we had just a ton of orders go out. I don't think we've been that backed up in terms of packing orders for just a restock weekend pretty much ever. It took us all the way until the end of the day Tuesday to get back caught up on orders, which is, we've had it flow into Tuesday a few times, not usually taking the whole day. We really kind of expected it to go into Wednesday, but the rate that we could pack orders kind of picked up on Tuesday for whatever reason, different order complexity or something like that. And while it wasn't record setting in terms of dollars or anything like that, I think it might have been record setting in terms of number of orders, which is exciting. So thank you if you made a purchase, and thank you for your patience if it took an extra day for your order to get out the door. We're going to start trying to take that into account more with some of the upcoming restocks, just in case they end up the same way. Like we expect when the big Virtue shipment finally arrives, that we'll probably be packing orders over the weekend to make sure we stay relatively caught up. And we're going to have to take that into account more and more often as we grow and we get more orders during a restock. Next up, yesterday from when I'm filming this, 2 days ago from when you're probably seeing this if you're watching this on Friday, on Wednesday we did a special lottery, like an old school Discord Dings and Dents lottery, where we did it kind of live. We had a bunch of items come in that we only got a few of, and so we did it via lottery rather than put them on the website because we didn't have very many. We had a couple of the 100 Akatsukis come in. We had a few other master grades that have been out of stock for a little while, GPO1, GPO1FB, GPO2A, for example. There were a few other no-grade 100 kits, including a 100 no-grade Virtue. And so we lotteried those off on the Discord. If you're not on the Discord, you really probably want to be, because we have tons of good information on there. We do fun things like the lotteries and things like that, Dings and Dents, where you can save money on damaged box kits, things like that. The way you become a member of the Discord is by making a purchase. If you've ever purchased from us before, you should have received an email with an invite link. If you, for some reason, didn't, or your invite link's expired or something, feel free to send an email to support@mechawarehouse.com, and we can look you up and make sure you get that invite link. It's a great community, and it's fun to be able to do things like the lottery thing and just see all the excitement from everybody. There's usually a lot of upfront just funny reactions to starting it up, and it's clear that the community enjoys it, and so we'll hopefully find some excuses to do a few more of those here and there. Maybe not every day, every week, but maybe it'll happen again in the coming months. Next up, we posted a video on Wednesday instead of Tuesday this week, which was our confirmations video, essentially, where it's mostly just me listing off a variety or the entire set of what we got for confirmations for reprints for January through March. So AKA like March through maybe June delivery. And seems like the reactions to it were good. If you're curious what we're getting and you're not on the Discord, we have all that information available on the Discord if you're curious and you're a Discord member. But we put it in video form. Santana did a massive amount of work to pull down images for all of the kits, which thankfully has been really appreciated from the comments. I haven't gotten a chance to go and reply to comments yet, but a lot of people were appreciative of the pictures, which is good because in terms of hours spent, that was a very expensive video to make. So that's up there. So if you're curious what we'll be getting in a few months, that might be a worthwhile video to go watch. We don't have a huge restock this week. We did get confirmation on a fairly large shipment, which is not the Virtue shipment, with some really good stuff that's coming probably in a week. Hopefully that Virtue shipment is going out the door very soon. It's bound to ship in the next week or two, I have to imagine, because they were supposedly like 4 weeks behind, and it's been at least 2 weeks or so, maybe more, since we got confirmation that it was in queue to go out. But so lots of cool restocks on the way. We're gonna have some great Friday restocks, I think, coming up. Two remaining things. So we'll probably be posting a job listing next week, maybe like Thursday, Friday next week, looking for another person to help out in the warehouse. It's just becoming more and more obvious. We've been kind of slammed at times. We need that capacity to ramp up when we've got a really busy week. Like, for example, when we get buried with some incoming, like that huge Virtue restock, things like that. It's going to be a ton of work to check it all in, or we get a ton of orders that need to go out. We're going to hopefully have a second packing station in the next 6 months, and we're going to need that ability to run 2 packing stations. So it makes sense to start looking for that person. And then finally, I'm like 95% of the way there to book my flights to come down to Virginia for the Old Dominion Open, which is on the 26th down in Richmond, Virginia. Yeah, 26th of February. It's like 2 weeks out, basically. I'll probably be confirming and booking my flights maybe on Friday. So if you're in that area or within a drive, I highly recommend going out. It's IPMS, International Plastic Modeler Society. Huge event, huge show. I think they've got four different Gundam categories, so there'll be a whole bunch of awesome Gundam builds. They've got sci-fi tables too. There's a lot of good stuff to look at. If you're a builder and want to put your model in the show, great way to get feedback on your builds and just meet a lot of cool people that are involved in the hobby. I think they got vendor tables too. A lot of good stuff there, worth checking out. I'll be confirming next week that I'm going for sure. And if you go and you see me, say hi. I'd love to have a chat with you. And I think that is it for Week in Review. Let's move on briefly to pre-orders. So we got two new pre-orders, one from Kotobukiya, one from Flame Toys. So Kotobukiya, we got the Shimada Humikane Artworks Arisa. It's basically a frame arms girl. I think it's inspired by something. Let me see. It's probably in the description. Arisa from the cover of Shimada Humikane Artworks 2. So it's inspired by some other franchise, but it's basically a frame arms girl. Looks kind of interesting. Cat ears and a tail, I think, if you're into that kind of thing. And then from Flame Toys, we have the Leo Prime, which is also a really interesting kind of mashup. I'm not really sure what it's from. If you know, let me know down in the comments below. I'm really curious, but it's almost like an animal kind of mashup with Optimus Prime. There's still no Beast Wars kits though. I think a Optimal Prime would be awesome. But so 2 new pre-orders, check them out. We still have tons of other pre-orders from a couple weeks ago. Rick Dom, etc., all that good stuff. So check that out while you're on there if you're looking at our pre-orders. All right, pre-orders are done. Let's move on to restocks. Not a ton of restocks this week, but some cool, interesting stuff. So first up, there is a brand new Gundam marker set, the Gundam Marker MSV set. MSV is from Mobile Suit Variations, I think. They're basically almost like military colors for Gundams, which is kind of interesting if you want to do like your OD, your tan, browns, those kind of things. So some cool colors that may not be otherwise available as Gundam markers. So worth checking out if you like Gundam markers. We got 2 different, we got G-frame and Ava frame. G-frame volume 14, I believe. And so G-frames, if you're not kind of aware, it's basically they come with a static frame, an articulating frame, and a bunch of armor pieces. So it's almost like a model kit. I don't think you really have to snap anything off of runners, anything like that. The one that I did a while back, they're basically just bagged parts, and you just put them on the frame, and you can kind of play with it like an action figure almost, articulate it. G-frame volume 14 has 4 different options. There's the Ifrit Custom, the Blitz Gundam, the GM Command Space Type, and the Blue Destiny Unit 1. So some cool designs in that batch. You can buy them individually. There's also an option to buy a set of 5, which actually will be duplicate of one of the 2. I forget which one it is. I don't think it's random, but I think there's 2 that seem to pop up as that random one. Based on looking at the shelf anyway, there seems to be certain ones that we've got a lot more of. I'm not sure which ones they are. There's also the Ava frames, like Volume 2. Same kind of deal, but Evangelion instead of Gundam. And there's 4 different options in here. Looks like we've got the Test Type 01 Night Combat Armor. There's like a option set, I think, is the 5th one, and this one. Model 2 Gamma, I think. If I can read Greek, which I can't, so. Custom Type 08. And then finally the weapon, weapon and accessory set. There's like a base and some weapons and some extras and stuff. So same deal there. You can buy them all individually. You can also buy the set of all 5 together. Finally, we got our last kit. We've got our second Zoid ever at Mecha Warehouse. We got the Zoid's Blade Liger AB in, which was our first Zoid last week in that big restock. We still got a ton of those, by the way. But we got the Rev Raptor this week. Bit of a smaller box, kind of interesting design. I think the Rev Raptors were like the bad guy grunt suit, or essentially equivalent in Zoids. So might be worth checking out if you're into it. It's kind of a Raptor kind of design. I started building the Blade Liger on my live streams, and I started building it last Saturday, and so far so good. It seems like a pretty solid kit, although admittedly I'm like halfway through the head, so there's a lot more building to do there to really be able to say, but I think they're worth checking out. That's it for restocks this week. Let's move on to Q&A. And so Q&A, we got one question this week. Before I answer it, though, I want to remind you, if you have a question you want answered, post it down in the comments below. Answer anything about Gunpla, Mecha Warehouse, myself, whatever. I would love to answer your questions, so post them down below. First up from Jeremy Krieder. Question: if given the chance, would you take a tour of your supplier, Bluefin, to see how it all works out? And then he also says, fun question, do you tilt your head to eat a taco or tilt the taco? So I'll answer those in order. So first off, Bluefin, yes, I would definitely take a tour. Late last year, I was planning on going out to the LA area for SCGMC. It didn't work out in terms of timing between like some COVID stuff going on and new employee coming on board and not really feeling ready to just kind of up and go and leave the warehouse for a day or two. If I had gone out for that, I would have been trying my darndest to get a tour of Bluefin and see what we could even film of it. It obviously didn't happen. Hopefully we'll be going out this year, in which case we'll hopefully make that stop, do that tour and film at least what they let us film. As for the fun question, I think it's pretty obvious that you have to tilt your head. If the taco is fully wrapped, you don't need to tilt anything because it will just, no problem. And if it's not, and it's like a hard shell or something, you can't tilt the taco because it will spill out. So the answer is pretty obvious, I think. So hope that helps, Jeremy. Do you tilt your head when you eat a taco? So that's all we got for questions this week. If you have a question, post it down in the comments below. And then the one thing I want to leave you with, something a little different today. I just want to say, like, let's try to put out some positivity in the Gunpla community. Just think about this, listen to a podcast on the ride over here. Homework for today: go online, find somebody's build that you like. Even better if it's somebody who doesn't receive a lot of comments on their social page or whatever, and compliment something about their build. Their build could be horrible, but find that one thing that's amazing about it or that's good. Give somebody a reason to keep trying and keep improving, and I think we'll all be better for it. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. So it came to my attention that I missed a few questions, so I'm going to answer them real quick. So Gam asked, if you were to invent a new tool for gunpla modeling, what would you make and why? I honestly don't know of a tool that I would make, but if I did, I probably would not tell you, and I would just go make it. So, for what that's worth. And then the one other question I got was from Rob Rosencrans. What are your thoughts on the lack of an announcement of a new Verka and or PG kit for 2022? And my thought is that it's February, and so there's still plenty of time. Usually the new Verka or PG is often like a December release. I don't know what happened in 2021, right? What was the Verka? I don't even know if there was one. So it seems like maybe they're backed up engineering wise. I think there's still time, and we'll probably get an announcement later in the year. I don't have enough of a feel naturally to know when these when they're usually announced. I feel like it's probably whenever the Shizuoka hobby show is or something. So yeah, I think that's it on that one.